are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hey guys, it's Blaque Diamond, and welcome back to another Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. And today I have joining me Miss Tracey Napier. She is a voice of inspiration. She used to think her voice was holding her back from being able to be the shining gem that she is, but along her self learning and self discovery journey, she realized it was only her own thoughts about her own voice is what was actually holding her back. So, thank you so much for joining me today, Miss Tracey.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
And can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Sure. Like you mentioned, I have cleft lip and palate, and I always thought it would limit me. But maybe before I get into that story, I guess I can start with today. So today, I am an intuitive life coach. I am a writer. I have a book that I published, and then I also am looking for speaking engagements. I am new to the speaking world. I have been guided, because I am psychic, to use my voice in any way I can.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, that's where I'm at today. But to share how I got here really was I was extremely shy and insecure growing up. I taught myself to speak and less spoken to because I did not want to talk. Kids are kids, and I was made fun of a
Mm-hmm.
lot growing up, and even adults weren't very nice sometimes either, and so I didn't want to talk, and I really held myself back. I thought my voice limited me. I thought the issue this entire time was my voice. And so I never had any big aspirations growing up. I just thought this is my lot in life, right?
Yes.
This is what I was dealt with, and so we'll see how my life unfolds. Kind of passive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it really wasn't until my mom passed away in 2018 when I decided to go on a journey of healing and self discovery. And at that point, I started exploring religion. I was never a religious person growing up. I joined a grief share group at a local Christian church. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, I've been thinking about joining a church or at least looking into it. I might as well go to a service and see what it's like. And I knew that that was where I was meant to be at that point, at least at that point in time. And so I ended up going to church. I got baptized. And I was going to church, gosh, COVID hit, and I ended up switching to like online. But
Mm-hmm.
probably 3 or 4 years I went to church, and it was great. And then I just felt like something was missing. Like, I don't know, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew there was more. I had developed a connection with God that I never had before, and I loved it. It was such a blessing. And I knew there was more. Like, there was more to it. And so I, during that time, was becoming more and more psychic. And
Mm-hmm.
with a lot, not all, but a lot of Christians kind of frown upon that. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what it says in the Bible is understandable. So I just started feeling like I didn't really fit in with that. And so I started going down more of a spiritual path. And I was guided to start using my voice. And the
Mm-hmm.
first step for me was to write a book. Using your voice isn't just speaking, it's speaking in any form, whether it's written form or vocal form. And so I wrote a book, and now I'm being encouraged to use my voice however I can. doing podcasts and speaking engagements and any other way I can.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not sure if you're aware, but I actually have a disability. I am blind. And
Okay.
so I used to, feel the same way you did because I lost my sight as a teenager.
Oh, wow.
And life just changed for me I went from being able to see one day to not being able to see. And
Mhm.
so that was a dramatic, very traumatizing,
Mhm.
situation for me. And then I did not have support. And so I had to deal with it on my own.
Oh, wow.
Um, Even though, I went to school and realized that there were children like me in the world, like I wasn't the only person that was young and blind, it
Mhm.
still really impacted my self-confidence because, I had dreams and aspirations of what I wanted to do when I grew up. And
Right.
I thought, I'm blind now. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do any of those things that I wanted to do.
Right.
And actually, like, I have been able to do everything that I've actually aspired to do. Like I wrote as a child because I had a very traumatizing childhood. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to be an author. And
Mhm.
so now, today, I have published 15 books to date as an
Wow.
author. There's just so many things. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to like I used to love to do hair, which I
Mhm.
still do.
Mhm.
No, I don't own my own hair salon, but I still, even though I lost the ability to see, it did not take away my talent for being able to do hair. So I just feel like things I wanted to do may have taken a little longer or
Mhm.
may have manifested in a different form, but I'm
Mhm.
still actually living my childhood dreams. Can't drive yet, but we're still working on that, you know.
I love that. That is so inspiring. Okay, so it's funny. I didn't know that. I'm sorry I didn't know that. But um, so what I'm calling my signature talk, I gave it, I'm brand new. So I gave it yesterday for the first time to a Rotary Club. And
Mhm,
in my talk, I gave an example of a story that I watched on 60 Minutes of a young man, a 15-year-old young man who became legally blind at 8 years old due to a brain tumor that crushed his optic nerve.
mhm,
And he is now a competitive swim skier. And so, like, there's always a way to accomplish your dreams, no matter
mhm.
what. And so it's really inspiring that you're able to do what you're doing despite your blindness. I love that.
And that's actually why the podcast exists as well, because I am a motivational speaker.
I love that.
And I
Mhm.
love hearing other people's empowering stories and other people's inspiring journeys. And, that helps me to, if I'm here to help other people bring their stories to the world, like that makes me feel like I'm doing my purpose, and my purpose is to help others, and helping others is by bringing their stories for other people to hear as well.
Yeah. Yes, it's an important mission. I'm so grateful that you're doing that.
Yes, ma'am. So, and you said as a kid, like you were made fun of and things. How did your family, so was this, well, first of all, was this something you were born with, or is it
Yeah,
something, okay, yes.
yeah.
Okay. And so how did your family, like, were you treated any differently by like cousins or siblings or or was everyone, kind of, embracing you for the individual that you were?
Yeah, I was definitely fully supported and embraced for who I was. And my mom and I have always been really close, and I feel like we always had a special bond. I was her little baby girl, and so I almost felt like I was more special in her eyes, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And so, from a family standpoint, I was fully supported at school in particular. Kids made fun of me, not just for my voice, for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was most insecure about my voice, and that really stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I for years I didn't talk. I didn't talk. If someone asked me a question or talked to me, it was a yes or no answer if possible. And it was, looking back, it's heartbreaking to know how much I held myself back. Even today, I'm
Mhm.
discovering how much I've held myself back, and it's a hard thing to overcome. At least for me, it's been challenging to overcome that because you don't go from being super shy to super confident. It's not a flip of the light switch. It's a process. It's a journey.
Mhm.
And, even now going on podcasts and doing videos and that is challenging. But it's a good challenge. I love it. But fear creeps in. And I have to remind myself to feel the fear and do it anyway because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's a good challenge for me. And I can do it. I just have to get past my fears. And the more I
Mhm.
do it, the easier it will become. And the more I think I would be able to inspire others.
Exactly, because I can imagine some little girl, listening to this episode and, going through the same things that you're going through and her just hearing,
Mm.
you come on here and speak and tell your story and her just thinking like, "You know what? I can do that too."
Yes, exactly. We are all given, so I call them gifts in disguise. So my voice, my cleft lip and palate is my gift. And it's just a matter of how you frame it, how you view your challenge.
Mhm.
Instead of believing that it would always hold me back, I now view it as my gift and I am using it to hopefully inspire others and it really helps me see how much strength and potential that I actually have. And
Mhm.
so those are the gifts, is finding your strengths and finding the potential that you never knew you had and using them for the better, for good.
Mhm. So you had challenges growing up because of your challenge. Did you experience any challenges as an adult? Like going I'm not sure if you went to college or anything
Yeah.
like that. Like did you have any challenges there?
Yeah. Adults, I get very responsive. If there's some people that are just, I don't know, eh, not very nice, and they'll make comments like, I can't understand the words you're saying, or you're gonna have to speak up so I can hear you.
Mhm.
And so I get comments like that, or some people make assumptions that because I don't speak very clearly, that I have some kind of cognitive disability.
Yes. Oh my
Um,
goodness. I get that
yeah.
all the time too. We get that because we can't see. That
Yeah.
means we're mentally impaired too. Like we don't
Yeah.
understand. So they talk to us very loud, like we can't hear, or
Yeah.
they talk to us very slow, like we're not able to understand
Right. And
because we
it
can't
depends on
see.
how it comes across. Sometimes it's well-meaning people, and other
Mhm.
times it's not so nice. And so
Yes.
that's been my challenge as an adult. But I have to say now that I am being more comfortable using my voice and putting myself out there, I have received so much support, so
Mhm.
much, and it's really helpful. I mean, I don't rely on what other people think of me to define my worth, but it's always nice to hear when people are genuinely nice and supportive of you. And so it's been a pleasant surprise, actually.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I can hear the confidence, in your voice. And so that's so amazing.
Thank you.
Um, and so you did mention that you are I think you said a psychic or like
I
you're an
am
intuitive seer.
psychic.
So
Yeah.
how did you discover that gift? Or what
It
happened
really
to bring that to the forefront?
it develops over time, and it's still developing. It's like a muscle. You have to work on it to strengthen it. But I believe, I never know exactly what triggers it, but in my opinion, my belief is after my mom passed away, I started kind of doing this inner work, discovering my belief system, my core values, and releasing these emotions that I've held on to for so long and working on forgiveness and all this. And I think that's part of it, doing this emotional work and letting go of this fears and insecurities that I've held on. Everything's held in your body. And so I've
Mhm.
made space to be able to receive. guidance. And I also became a Reiki practitioner.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you know anything about Reiki, but it
I
is a form.
do.
Okay, great. It's a form of energy healing. And I think if you were to ask most, if not all, Reiki practitioners, they would probably tell you that they became much more intuitive or psychic after they started doing Reiki. It really opens you up. And so I do believe that that's at least part of it for me. And so yeah, inner work and Reiki and just really practicing developing the skill. It's and it's an ongoing journey. It's amazing. I
Hmm.
never thought I would have this ability. I didn't think about it. But in hindsight, I had experiences growing up. There was just few and far between. But
Hmm.
now I'm getting them every single day.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mostly get messages when I'm sleeping or meditating, but sometimes throughout the day too. It's just really developing your intuition, and so now I'm trying to work on continuing to release these emotions, this fear and doubts and stuff that I have kind of stuck in my body,
Hmm.
because I know once I release that, I'm really gonna open up, and so that's been my focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually very intuitive myself. I don't know how it happened,
Uh-huh.
but it started as dreams. I would dream things, and it was kind of like interesting for me. Like one day, um a few years ago, like I kept having this reoccurring dream that I died. I was on a bus and the bus was in an accident and I died. And like I just kept having this dream and I just couldn't figure out why.
Wow.
Like why do I keep like why am I dreaming? Like who wants to dream about themselves dying on a bus?
Right.
And I had that dream for years and I could never understand like
Oh,
why. So a couple of years later, actually back in 20, was it 2020? Yes, 2020. I was actually in an accident on the bus that I had dreamed about,
no
where I
way.
actually almost died. Um,
Oh,
and it was like it wasn't in the same way that like I died in the dream. Like in the dream,
uh,
I was on the bus and the bus flipped over, and that's how I
mm,
died. But in reality, when this dream finally manifested itself, it was I fell off of the lift on the bus because it was a paratransit bus for people with disabilities.
mhm,
And so my son at the time who wasn't walking, he was still in a car seat. And so the driver was putting me on the lift to get us up in the bus. Well,
mhm.
for whatever reason, she did not tell me that I was not correctly positioned on the lift.
Oh,
And so when I thought I was walking into the bus, I was walking off of the side of the lift and I landed
oh,
on the concrete on the ground.
oh no.
Um, and if I hadn't stuck my hand out to brace my fall, I would have more than likely had a very severe head injury. And this was
Right.
in the parking lot of my son's daycare where I was picking him up. And the accident happened and I never really thought much about it. I was recovering and it was just like something kept nagging at me. And it was like I never had that dream again.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a minute. Was that was I seeing this accident happen before it happened, but it just
Yeah.
didn't happen in the same way. And I've had several other situations like that where I dreamed things and they've come true just differently,
Uh-huh.
like
Uh,
years later.
Interesting. More like premonitions. Oh, that's fascinating. I don't think I've had a premonition dream. I get dreams, I mean, nightly. Many, many dreams. Sometimes 30 to 50 dreams in a night. And when
Oh,
I say
wow.
dreams, I'm talking like dreams and images.
Mm-hmm.
And so oftentimes they're short. And so I'll
Mm-hmm.
wake up, and a lot of them are really cryptic. I can hear words, I hear people talking to me, and I'm still trying to learn how to remember them more.
Yeah, see, I
I
remember them
forget.
vividly, like as if they happened for real. Like
Wow.
that's how and sometimes even during the day, I won't even be sleeping, but
Mhm.
I will just be doing in the middle of doing something in a flash, just
Yeah.
like there's a flash of a thought of something and it goes
Yep.
away, and I don't think nothing of it until later. Like one day I was actually taking a bath and I was talking to a friend on the phone. And something in my mind just told me that my significant other was going to lose his job. And I'm like, where the heck did that come from?
Uh-oh.
Like, where? So I never said anything about it. I just kind of, okay, whatever, like, not thinking much. And like 2 weeks later, he was talking to me and he was like, yeah, I think, my time is up here. And I was like, well, I have to tell you something, but I don't think I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to think that I'm thinking negatively. Because he started having some issues like at his job with his
Mhm.
boss and everything. And
Mhm.
he was like, just go ahead and tell me. And I was like, well, I don't know what this was, but I had this thought and it just came into my mind that you were going to lose your job.
Ah.
And he was like, "Okay." He just kinda took it in stride. He was like, "Okay." I'm like, "So you're not, like, scared or you're not, like, freaked out?" He was like, "No."
Mhm.
He was like, "Because I know some people are blessed with gifts to see things that," and sure enough, like a week later, he was let go.
Wow.
And I was just like, I wasn't even sleeping. I was just taking a bath, like, and
Mhm.
I was in the middle of a conversation with a friend, and it just I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
And we weren't even talking about him. We were having a whole different conversation. So I'm not sure where that came from. And like I've had things like that happen, and I'm just like, oh wow.
Yeah. You can develop that skill. I think it's amazing. It's an amazing gift to have. I
Hmm.
can't imagine life without being intuitive or psychic now. I just can't imagine life without it.
Yeah, I've been able to tell people what someone looks like, even though I've never met that person a day in my life.
Uh-huh.
And they're
Oh,
like, "Well, how did you but that's exactly how they look." I was like, "I don't know." It just
I think so.
it just happened.
It's just
And it's like
specific.
so it doesn't happen like all the time. It's just random. Like and I can't like it's not something I could just narrow down. It
Right.
it just happens.
I love it. You're very open. That's amazing. That's awesome.
So with you being an intuitive, do you like work with clients or is it something you kind of work just personally by yourself?
Yeah, so I was recently guided to become an intuitive life coach.
Mhm.
And it's a brand new business. I just started it. So, but my intention, yes, is to work with clients, specifically women who are holding themselves back.
Mhm.
And so I can resonate with that. And so my intention, yes, is to work with clients and really help them change the way they think about themselves and kind of show them what I've learned along my journey.
Mhm.
I'm a completely different person now than I was even 2 years ago. There's so much to be said about this deep inner work that we do and
Mhm.
how powerful it can be. And so this inner work is really a driving force in my life. And I am looking forward to working with women who maybe holding themselves back and helping them to live a more fulfilling life and reach their full potential.
Mhm. I love
Um,
it. Have
yeah.
you ever thought about writing a book about your story?
Well, so I've written a book. The book that I wrote is called Get Changed: How to Become the Master of Your Own Life. And I was excited to write that book.
Mhm.
I don't talk like that. I didn't come up with that title. But, and it was funny because it was only a couple of months maybe after I got laid off from my job. I was laid off in December of 2022. And, oops, sorry, my psychic abilities were developing, and I knew that I was supposed to be writing a book, and so I started writing a book along the same lines of the one that I ended up writing. But not long after I started writing this book, I had an image and I heard someone say to me in my sleep, "Get changed. How to become the master of your own life." And I thought, oh no. Like I knew that was the name and topic of my book.
Mm.
And I thought, oh my. Like I just got laid off from my job. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. And want me to write a book on mastering life.
Like I'm still trying to figure life out.
Yeah, like you have the wrong person. Come on here. But I realized that the book was just as much for me as it was for the reader.
Mhm.
Because it's funny, I had an outline initially, and then I didn't really like go by it. It wasn't a strict outline. I found that I just started writing what intuitively came to me. And the book is 7 chapters, and it was on the seventh chapter. The chapter title was called Step Into Your Power. Like I knew that was going to be the last chapter. So I start writing the chapter, and I realized like, wait, this whole book has been about learning how to step into your power.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the message for me. Like I was supposed to be learning this at the same time. Like I have been on this journey of learning how to step into my power and create the life that I want. You know, I had always lived in this state of victimhood,
Mm.
and which was a word that was given to me. One night I heard a male voice say, "Most of us don't know how much victimhood we have." And I thought, well, that's not for me. I don't consider myself a victim. But once I really started looking into it more and better understanding victimhood, I thought, oh, yes, it was. Definitely a message for me.
Wow.
And so, but anyways, I wrote a book with that. But I had not thought about writing a book about my journey. But I do
Mhm.
feel like I have a lot more books in me, like you. And so
Mhm.
that might be a good one to write. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
I can see you doing like a book, especially for like young girls and teens,
Yeah.
and basically helping them to use their voice to be a voice of inspiration.
I love that. And you know what's funny? When I was a child, I was probably, I don't know, I was young, 10-ish maybe, I don't know. But I remember it wasn't even a one time thing, it was a few times where I would have this like vision of me being a role model to young girls and
Mhm.
speaking on stage. And I blew it off. Like, I can't even talk. I'm not going to speak on stage. And I blew it off. I didn't know what it meant. You know, I was young and didn't really understand intuition or psychic abilities at the time. And it's funny now, I'm like, I can see, I definitely want to help women, but like you said, I feel like I would be great with being a role model to young girls. And so I think I need to maybe figure out how best I can do that.
Mhm. I love it. Like I can really see it like
Yeah.
happening because I can see like just the girls walking across or even you doing like some kind of like a course.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once they're done with the course, they get the little certificate and I can really see that. Like that would be so cute.
Yeah, a little master your life course. I am the master of my life.
Yes.
I
And like
choose to
that
live my life.
confidence, them, being like maybe middle school to like high school and them having that confidence,
I
in
love
themselves.
that.
Cause being a teenager is the hardest part of your life. And that's when you're
Yeah.
going through the difficulty of trying to figure out who you are and what you want to
Yes.
be and things
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, if you could have something like that where they could take courses or, have some kind of book, I think that would really help.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm going to give that some thought. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome. So is there anything else you would like to add or leave the listeners with? Words of encouragement, any kind of empowerment?
Yeah, so one thing that I was a message I should say that I received one time from the universe, from my angel guides, was that it's not about what other people can do for you. It's what life is. Life isn't about what other people can do for you. It's what you make of it.
Mhm.
And that struck me because in that at the time I was like, okay, how can so and so help me? And then how can I help them? It was more about this two-way exchange. And I was reminded, like, no, it's what you make of it. Don't rely on other people. Do it yourself. You have everything within you that you need to fulfill your dreams. And so I
Exactly.
would just say, you have untapped potential that you probably don't even realize you have. So go after your dreams. You have it in you.
Yeah, I always my favorite, the saying that I like to say is dream big, achieve bigger.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Really empowering.
All right, so we've come to my favorite part of the episode where we do the what is she thinking? And so I'm going to give you five random phrases. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't think too hard about it. Just,
Okay.
let go and let loose.
Okay.
What is she thinking? What are her thoughts? Quick, fast, no blinking. What do you got?
Okay, so the first one is my voice.
Is amazing.
All right. Cats and dogs don't.
Love each other. I don't know.
Let's see here. The wheels on the bus.
Go round and round.
All right. The light within you.
Is brighter than you think.
All right. And our last one. Close the door.
On what no longer serves you.
All right. Great. I love
I love
it.
those. They're cute.
So is there like website, anything you would like to contact information you would like to leave for listeners to be able to reach out to you?
Sure. I would say the best way to get in contact with me is through my website, and it's my name, TraceyNapier.com. And I have all my social links on there as well. So feel free to reach out.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me for another Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. Also, check us out and follow us on social media at BFF Empowerment Podcast on Facebook. We're BFF Empowerment Podcast on Instagram, BFF Empowerment Podcast on Threads, and BFF Empowerment Podcast on YouTube. Also, check out our website at bffempoweredpodcast.com. If you have any episode suggestions, topics, things you would like us to talk about, if you would like to be a guest on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, send us an email at bffempowerment@gmail.com. And thanks you guys so much for tuning in. See you next time.